Hey, let's talk about what we do at Emily Journey and Associates to take our clients' SEO to the next level. When a client starts with us, the first thing that we need to focus on for their SEO is just getting content created on their website, getting articles written that are strong for SEO, getting pages created or edited to strengthen them for search engine optimization so that they can be found. 99% of the time, that's where people are at when they first come to our company, is that they just need that initial strategy package. They need all of that research done and they need that. And where we land at is that this SEO content needs to be created based upon the strategy and their business goals. So that's usually step one. But after we've done that work and the website is performing well for SEO, and maybe a year, maybe more than a year has gone by, and and we want to take it to the next level. We're looking for a way to, okay, how do we take it to the next level? Or maybe there was some great performance and we're starting to see that slide a little bit. And so we want to address that as quickly as possible. So what do we do? I've created a list of some things I want to go over with you that are so I'm going to be looking at this list to make sure I don't miss anything that can help our clients take SEO to the next level. So first thing is have a conversation with and so find out, are the goals the same? Are you still selling all of the same products that we've been really promoting through SEO? Has there been a pivot? So confirming that, and in terms of are we still kind of on target in terms of what we want to generate traffic for to the website. And okay, so that's the first thing, and also sharing the performance. So evaluate the performance of the content, the SEO content. Now we do that on a regular basis, but the eye that we want to have with this evaluation is what do we need to eliminate. So often a website that's performing well for SEO because there's a lot of SEO content on it. It's kind of been building over time, or even a client may show up to us at this point, right, where they've done well with SEO, they want to take things to the next level, or they're starting to see their performance decline, and they have a lot of content. And one of the first things that we want to do is figure out, well, what do we need to get rid of first? And why would we want to get rid of some SEO content that's been created in the past? So remember that SEO content creation is experimental in nature. So it's not completely random, but often we're wanting to see how is this going to perform. And so we don't always know whether or not content is going to perform well. So sometimes we discover that, you know what, there's this whole collection of blog post pages that they've been hanging around for a year, 6 months. We need to provide, allow for a minimum of 6 months to start seeing performance. But let's say they've been around for 6 months or more. Often we see posts that have been around for more than a year, and they're getting zero. They've had 0 clicks or 1 click, according to Google Search Console. We go in there and measure that, or maybe they've had 2 clicks, and so that's a sign that those those pieces of content, and I'm not talking about. We can assume that content that is not SEO'd should either be eliminated or SEO'd, right? So that's an assumption we're starting with, is that okay, that. But what about content that's been SEO'd but it's not performing? Then we need to look at it. Do we need to revise it, or do we need to shift? Do we need to change tracks here? So do we need to actually get rid of some of this content and rethink the content that's been created? So the reason you don't want to let low performing pages, posts hang out on your website, because they adding bulk to your website is not a good plan, right? So if as a whole more than half of your URLs aren't performing well on your website, then Google can start to look at your website as kind of like low quality, right? And so that'll affect how your website as a whole performs. It'll also affect how frequently Google comes by to index your site. Every website has an indexing budget. We don't know what that is, but Google comes and it doesn't index all of the pages on your website. And so it only when it comes by probably every day, it only indexes a certain number of pages, right? So you want your website to be concentrated, and have mostly high quality URLs. So that's an evaluation of the website as a whole that takes time. There's some decisions that need to be made about, okay, what needs to be eliminated. And when posts are eliminated, they're not just deleted. We usually set content to draft, and then we 301 redirect that URL to another page or post that's performing well. So we'll create 301 redirects there so that we're not ending up with 404 errors. Okay, so that's the cleanup work. So that can actually take a significant chunk of time when we get into it, because it depends on how much there is, right? So that's a good step in cleanup. The next item, it has to do with evaluating the link hierarchy on the website. And this is also something that comes out of your conversation with your client, is that what are the top 3 to 5 URLs on the website? So a very small list. So on my website, the most important URLs are there's one for WordPress training, there's one for website maintenance packages, and there's one for SEO training, and then there's another one for SEO services. So 4 total, right? So I know what they are, and I can get to them quickly, and make sure you've identified what those URLs are. So that those are and the reason you want to, because you can have, because there are going to be a bunch of articles written related on related topics, and there could be like a couple of strong URLs on the same topic. You want to figure out which one is performing best if they're on the same topic. And that may be the one that you really want to lean into. So identifying those, and then evaluating the link hierarchy. So historically, in the past several years, we have done really just kind of done cross-linking in a horizontal fashion. And more recently, it's become important to do cross-linking in more of a vertical fashion. So we want to, when we've identified those most important URLs, then that cross-linking needs to happen vertically. So those top-level URLs should not be linking down to the lower-level URLs. So if those top-level pages and posts have links going out, the links should only be going to the other important pages, and there don't have to be going any cross links at all going away from those pages. Instead, the lower level pages and posts should be linking up to those and not the other way around. And so there's this very clear hierarchy, and sometimes these are called content hubs, right? So we call it a content hub. So identify your content hubs, and then build out your link structure, or update your link structure so that it's showing the direction, right, to Google. And then that will that's a well-organized website, and that's something that we didn't used to pay attention to until recently. We used to just make sure there was cross-linking horizontally, and it wasn't important like do this content hub uplinking, right? So that evaluation and then process of cleaning up that link structure is a phase of taking SEO to the next level. Okay, the next thing that I want to talk about that you can do is called click depth. So click depth, it didn't used to. It's another one of these things that has become more important recently. So click depth is the number of clicks it takes for a person to get to another URL so they land on your page. How many clicks does it take for them to get to another piece of content? So that's called click depth. It also applies to the home page specifically. So how many clicks away from the home page is something. So I want to just talk about it in terms of clicks away from the home page, and you can apply the same principle to any page on the website. So it used to not really matter that much, like if something you published was buried within the website, it would rank high no matter what, if it was SEO'd and if it was structured properly in terms of all of the SEO rules, right? It would show up in search results whether you could find it from the homepage or not. So now, and it really didn't matter if you had a link to your blog, in your main navigation. Now I have a different take on that because click depth has become more important, and so what that means is you don't want your most important SEO content buried deep in the website. You want to be able to get to it within just in 3 or fewer clicks from the homepage, and most of it really should be 2 or fewer. So first off, the top 3 to 5 URLs that you've identified as the most important for SEO, those need to be linked on the homepage. So, and that shouldn't be too difficult. So there need to be links to those most important URLs from the homepage. So evaluate the homepage, and are we doing things like linking to the about page? What are we prioritizing there? Are we linking to temporary URLs that aren't as important, or because that's important. The one click from the homepage is like the most important content on the website. And if it's not structured that way, you want to make those changes. The easiest way to get a single click depth is having something in the main navigation. So, because that main navigation is in the header and shows up on every page of the website. But you can also have those links in the footer. So the header and footer, easiest way to get to a single click depth from anywhere on the website. And so those most valuable URLs should be in that main navigation, or sometimes you'll have an important link in the footer. Also within the body of the homepage, you want to have those links as well. So, and they need to be structured. When you have them in the body of the homepage, they need to be structured as heading 2 and maybe heading 3. But look for those opportunities to use that heading 2. Heading 2, that's a meta tag for those homepage links to those URLs. So you're using that keyword phrase on the homepage and as an anchor link to that high level top priority URL. So that could potentially mean some significant restructuring of the homepage. And of course, you're wanting to also make sure that still aligns with your client's goals and the keywords that they're continuing to target. Okay, so that's click depth. One last thing about click depth is this is also why it's valuable to have a link to your blog, either in your main navigation or on your homepage or both, because it's a way to quickly, within one click, get to a lot of content. So your blog index page, is a lot of posts, right? It could be, you could have 16 posts on your blog index page. And so if you can get that quick to that blog index quickly from the main navigation or for the home page, that's a nice quick way to get to a lot of content within one click. So, okay, so that's click depth. We've talked about the hierarchy of your URLs, and the last thing I'm going to share with you the last item for taking SEO to the next level. And then I'm going to tell you what you don't really need to focus on. So, which a lot of people kind of mistakenly think they do need to focus on. So, the optimizing your site speed. So, if you over time have uploaded a lot of large images to your website, your site speed can suffer. So, and what happens is, well, we'll try to address that by adding a caching plugin, and that will automatically resize the image and optimize the image as best as it can. And a lot of settings will change that will make the site load faster and the individual URLs load faster. But this isn't, and that's like a more an efficient way to address site speed. But it's not the like, you definitely want to do that, but sometimes it's not everything, right? It's either not enough, or over time it stops being as effective because the fundamental practice of uploading large images has not been addressed. So if there's one is address that. If there's a practice of uploading large image files to the website, stop that. So that's the source of the problem. So that needs to be addressed. And then it may come down to the real tedious work of actually replacing the images throughout the website with their smaller counterparts. That may be work that needs to be done. That's tedious, time consuming, but important work. And the consequence of a long period of time of not following the best practices when it comes to uploading images to the website. So sometimes that there needs to be an investment in that job of cleaning up the image sizes on the website. And it would be great if you could just go to the media library and check boxes and then squish them or replace them in bulk, but it's not. It's a tedious one at a time, editing individual pages, replacing the image, deleting the old image, and doing that kind of work. So sometimes we can do that in pieces though, because the culprit is maybe the biggest culprit may be, for example, the images that are used in a slider. And so sometimes just addressing the images there in the slider and reducing those image sizes, maybe sometimes that fixes the problem, or like it gets us 80% there. Or and maybe there's like videos that have been uploaded to the website instead of embedded, right? And so that's causing a drain on the server. So that's like a significant, it doesn't require going through all the images on the website, but just addressing the problem of large videos or large PDFs that have been uploaded to the server. That can often provide a lot of relief. So for the performance of the website. And then ultimately what may need to happen is that the actual hosting plan needs to change to one that will accommodate the amount of space that's required because of all of the images. And sometimes that change in hosting plan includes moving to a different hosting provider. So sometimes that's a point where that's a good time to make the decision to move to a different hosting provider. And we advise our clients on what the best hosting provider is. Okay, last thing I want to say is what you don't really want to focus on. So, and it's just one thing in terms of, that we see people focusing on when they don't really need to, and that is generating backlinks. So, paying to have someone seek out backlinks to your website and is it's going to be the last priority thing. It's not that it's necessarily harmful, although in some cases it can be harmful if you're working with a company that's kind of like a link farm or and produces kind of like junky, junky links, then that can be a problem. It can create a problem for your website. So junky links or so it's going to provide the lowest amount of results. So working on backlinks. The reason it's so attractive as an option, and that a lot of people kind of are convinced to go in that direction, is because it's a solution that feels easy and that you can just pay for. You can just pay to have it done and not have to think about it, and someone else will take care of it, and it's you can just dump money on it, and so that and it's not complicated to understand like how that would work. So I think and there's some good salespeople out there too. So I think that might be what's going on, why there's such an interest in that. There are some companies that have built their entire business model around the idea of selling this service, of generating backlinks. And even though years ago Google downgraded the quality of backlinks, these businesses didn't change their business model, and so they're still selling it. So I think that's what's going on there. Okay, that's all I've got for today. I hope that's helpful on helping you take your SEO to the next level. And let me know if you have any more questions. I'll talk to you later.